This video, I'm going to be going over probably what you exactly wanted when you first started in your business and probably where you are now, which is not what you wanted. Anyway, my name is Matt. I'm going to be walking through balanced ambition and hustle culture today, and why specifically in fitness businesses we get caught up in this hustle culture. I don't know about you, but my Instagram feed when I first became a coach was David Goggins mentality, Alex Hormozy sales videos, all these like alpha hustle, like male and female grind set posts. And it really used to get me like hyped up. And I was like, you know what, tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up at 3:55 a.m. and follow this elaborate routine to get me primed for success and all this kind of stuff. And I thought like that is what everyone else was doing. And I realized that a lot of people are doing that. However, they're making no money. And in the last couple of years, when I stepped away from coaching and started working with business owners who are actually doing really well, there is a balance of them who are just, running it straight and doing as much as they can to squeeze as much out of their business as possible. Then there's others who have a lifestyle business. And there's nothing wrong with having like a grind set business or having a lifestyle business. However, for me personally, lifestyle business wins every single day of the week. And so today I'm going to be breaking down like 6 different things that I think about a lot, admittedly probably a little bit too much, about fitness businesses and my own business, because I still lump myself in this as well. One of the main offerings that coaches give to their clients is 24/7 support. What that implies is 365 days of the year, 24 hours a day, you are going to be accessible to clients in order for them to ask you questions. I don't know about you, but I will not be answering a client question at 6 a.m. on Christmas morning. Now, you may be thinking, I need to offer this so that I'm there for my clients. I really want to help them succeed. At the end of the day, if the person is the kind of person who needs 24/7 assistance, they probably need more than just help fitness coaching. What this then becomes is you spending all of your time messaging clients, which eats into all of the rest of your day. You don't have time for content. You don't have time to scale the business. You don't have time to put in systems. You don't have time to speak to other like stakeholders, whatever it might be. And you will burn out. I have seen this happen so many times. I've got an example of a coach who I won't name, however, quite famous, who I was friends with, and they had like a couple of hundred clients, and they worked with, a couple hundred clients, and clientele was 100% female, no males. And this person became the linchpin of these people's lives. So what that means is she was, I'm trying to say they, and I just came out with she. She was their therapist, their mentor, their coach, their best friend, their everything, right? And she built an entire business around this. And it ran for years and she made so much money. However, it led to some serious burnout because there were no systems in place. She'd be messaging literally hundreds of girls every day. And eventually it just blew up and she couldn't do it anymore. She also went very viral. It just wasn't sustainable. And she thought, if I just work harder, I will get to where I want to be. And that get to where I want to be was, employees and staff and, scaled business without having to work 24/7. But that never happened because the more clients she took on, she just ended up breeding more of herself, where she would bring on a coach, the coach would do the same thing, get burnt out, recycle. That works, but to me, that just is not enjoyable. I would rather, have a large amount of clientele, but not have them access me 24/7. So this is one thing that literally, like, if you look at why burnout happens, if you ask, let's do a little exercise. Back in my software development days, there's a process that's a part of like lean methodology. Is if something goes wrong, you ask why 5 times. So the first thing is that the situation is coach is burnt out. They don't want to do any work. They don't want to get out of bed. let's ask why. Okay, cool. Why? The coach has been working 60, 70, 80 hours a week for the last 15 weeks. Why have they been doing that? Because they have, 150 clients who all expect them to be their one-on-one best friend. Okay, why do they have that? Well, because they scaled on Instagram and they went viral and signed up more people than they could ever have imagined. Okay, why is that the case? Because they put effort into their content. Okay, cool. And you eventually get back, you keep asking why. And it comes to the original selling point when they're selling on the call, it's you have 24/7 access to me, which this is just so dangerous. You should not be having this. Instead, you should really have office hours. So office hours are kind of like at university. You could go see a lecturer between 5 and 6 p.m. on a Tuesday and Wednesday, and they would be available for questions. That way, you're not consistently messaging them at all hours during the week. You're still paying a significant amount of money to be there, but there is no expectation that that lecturer is available to you 24/7. If a university can do this, where you're paying them tens of thousands of dollars a year, you can do this if you're charging people $100, $150 a week. So the best case scenario is to set either daily office hours or set a reply cadence from the beginning. So you're going to say, okay, if you send me a message, you will have a response within 24 hours. It is setting up in the beginning that really helps mitigate one element of burnout, which is overwork. The next one is moving into work blocks, big work marathons. So what I define as a work marathon is someone who just sits at their computer and keeps going until they are completely spent. And this may happen because, you've got a lot of work to do. You've got to get things done. You might just have an endless to-do list. Working in blocks and taking adequate breaks, for me, admittedly, for me, this works. Some people can do the other way. I cannot. I cannot sit at a desk and work 8 hours, 9 hours straight. I just by the end, I'm useless. And I see a lot of coaches do this as well. So, you might be doing check-ins and you need to take a break, right? Because the first check-in you do will be your best check-in, and the 50th check-in you do that day is you're probably not giving that client everything that you want to give them, right? So I schedule myself in blocks. So an example of a day here is between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. and then 2 to 4 p.m. Focused hours where I'm not doing anything else but working. I'm in one of those blocks right now. So I'm not touching my phone. I've got a time. My phone's recording this. I've got a timer. I don't time these videos, but I'll set a time to either 60 minutes or 90 minutes. It's just an egg timer or something, whatever this is. I put it on top of my phone and I work straight. And during and outside of that time, I play golf. I go to the gym. I read fiction. I specifically do things that I really like doing because they give me energy. Not just sleep that gives me energy, but doing those other things gives me energy as well. I don't know how to explain this because I don't actually know why it works. But if I was to sit at my desk from 7 a.m. and say, I'm just going to work until the end of the day, I will crash and burn by midday, and I just will, the quality of my work between 12 and 5 will just be trash. However, if I work from 7 to 11 and go play golf, or if I play golf beforehand, I can nail those first hours, take another break, and then nail the next couple of hours and crush it. And my quality of work is significantly better. As a coach, you may also need to look at implementing this into your business. But I understand if you don't feel like you can right now because you feel like you need to be at the computer replying to people. It all loops back into the first one, is the false promises. Slave to clients is a broken business model. I've just been speaking about this as well. I know I kind of blended this in. If you are consistently there for people, you not being there is not laziness. It's literally it's your business model is broken and you think you need to offer this. And the issue that I see with a lot of coaches is they start to beat themselves up based on their ability not to just sit at the computer and sit and face their work every single day, which I went through this for years. I still go through this, right? For me, At the end of the day, my clients employ me to implement systems that either make them money or save them time, right? Now, if I am sitting at my desk, but I'm not productive or I'm not actually completing work, they're not getting what they pay for. However, my previous fitness brain was like, oh, I'm sitting at the computer, I'm working, and I check off like that mental checkbox. Not true. Whereas if I work, a set block and I get everything done that I said to the client that I would get done in, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, go on, play golf, and then come back and do the same thing again, I'll actually deliver on what I promised instead of delivering on what I think I need to do, which is sit in front of the computer or sit on my phone and respond to people. That in itself is, these three kind of tie into one, but it's really about setting yourself up in the beginning. Leads me into my next point, is perfectionism kills more than laziness. So I don't know about you, but I know a lot of fitness coaches, and a lot of them are perfectionists, and it comes from how they train, in my opinion. Coaches are usually obsessive over their training. And it's usually the reason they got into coaching in the first place is because, they went on a journey themselves. Either, they were bullied for being skinny, or they were overweight like I was and lost weight and got into fitness. The attention to detail that we coaches have with their body is perfectionism, right? We weigh out every macro. You train the bicep in the lengthened position because you want more of a peak. You do leg day every Wednesday. You do chest day every Monday. That in itself, got you to the dance. It got you to where you are, but that doesn't work if you want to move quickly and succeed in business. You thinking that you're lazy because you don't you're not responding to clients all the time, whatever, is not true. But perfectionism is what kills most coaches to begin with, because they think they need the perfect system, the perfect reply, the perfect availability, which is 24/7, the perfect training programs, the perfect app, the perfect onboarding sequence. That will kill more of your soul than laziness ever could. The next one here, golf and family time, is mental space for better business decisions. So this is me personally. And you might be a little bit different. You might play basketball. You might have a cat, right? So for me, playing golf and hanging out with Emily, my wife, gives me the mental space to actually make decisions, not from a place of fear or exhaustion. And if you can make better business decisions, you're going to have a better business. If you are consistently exhausted all the time and, running on 4 hours of sleep and hyped up on 6 of these a day, you're not going to make better business decisions. It just doesn't make sense. And aggressive revenue goals don't need life sacrifice. There is something that happens when coaches get to 30 clients, right? So 30 clients at, let's say, $80 a week. $80 a week. So what's that? 30 times 80. Oh, that's 230. So 30 times 80, which is 2,400 equals 2,400 a week. 2,400 times 4 is 9,600. $9,600 a month, right? And when coaches get to this number, it always seems to be 30 clients. It seems to be what people can withstand without any kind of systems in place. So just running everything through Google Drives, manually doing things, manually onboarding, manually doing programs. 30 seems to be the limit, right? $9,600 a month or $9,600 a month is a good wage. It's better than most most jobs, right? So coaches get in this I'm making 10 grand a month. I'm crushing it, but they stay here for ages. And the reason that is because what got them to 30 clients a month can't get them to 60 clients a month. Because if you're spending all your time, 40, 50 hours a week coaching or doing online check-ins that are really detailed for these 30 clients, you literally don't have the time to scale to 60 clients, right? Unless you bring on another coach. But then you're just going to breed the exact same thing if you don't actually have any systems in place to help with fulfillment, right? So this number, this $10,000 a month, a lot of coaches have like that $30,000 a month. They think $30,000 a month, which is great. Like, don't get me wrong, $30K a month is an insane number. Like most people, have minimum wage, average wage, above average wage is not even $30K a month. Like, what's that a year? So 30 times 12, 360 grand a month. Like, that's executive level in some businesses, right? This number is not possible just by brute forcing your way, right? Because that's in theory, 30, 60, that's 90 clients a week. And if you spend, 40 hours working and your client check-ins, for example, take 30 minutes each. So 30 times 90, which is 2,700. So 2,700 divided by 60 for how many hours it takes. That's 45 hours of just straight check-ins, no breaks, nothing. That's not communications with clients. That's not new training programs. That's not your own life. That's 45 hours straight per week, which is unsustainable. Like, you just can't do it. I know coaches who try and they just burn out and they end up having to refund people and it sucks. So all of this seems very doom and gloom, right? But the balanced ambition side of it is I like to work with people who realize that this isn't what they want. They don't want 45 hours worth of check-ins per week. They want systems and they want to, serve 30, 60, 90 clients, up to 250 clients, 300 clients even, some of my coaches have. They want to be able to facilitate those numbers, but without working the 45 hours a week, 60 hours a week, whatever it might be. And here's kind of how you do it, right? So the first things first is you need to look at your business like an assembly line. Now, the reason why I say you need to look at your business like an assembly line is because every business is technically like an assembly line. Your clients come in at one spot and they end up at another spot. And there are tasks along the way, there are steps along the way that you take in order to get them there. So it might, they might come on for 12 weeks. Start is when they inquire, the end is when they're offboarded. Looking at your business like an assembly line will allow you to see a top-down view of what parts of this process take the most amount of time, what is the most repeatable, and how can you put systems in place to actually do some of the work for you. And usually it's, onboarding, that's one, lead management, fulfillment, the three easiest ones, right? That'll save you hours per week. What that does is once you start flexing that muscle of, okay, cool, we're starting to automate little parts here, that then leads you to setting realistic expectations with clients. So if you're at this point where you're just running straight at the wall, you got 30, 40, 50 clients and you're just like, they're consuming everything, you're going to need to set expectations with them that you might be reducing contact hours or you are implementing office hours or something along those lines. The courage that takes is you need to be willing to lose a couple of clients. But with these systems in place, you'll be able to take on more, right? All with the goal of setting you up for a more balanced life. And I don't want to I know I'm rambling now, but I think it's important. I don't want to sit here and say that it's not going to be hard, because hard and working hard are not the same thing. The difficult thing here is how complex the system is but how easy it kind of looks. And other coaches make it look so easy. You know, they've got this app, they onboard people, all this kind of stuff. And you think to yourself, I couldn't possibly do all that. You can. And you have to work hard in the beginning to even to generate clients, because without the clients, you don't have the blessing of this problem, which is, diving into hustle culture and, you just need to work harder. You don't have that blessing of that problem. So if you don't have that yet, then this is none of this advice applies to you. You need to be redlining to hear this advice, and it needs to be so painful that you want to change. Because once you have achieved this, you kind of you granted the option to improve it. In the beginning, you're going to have to make cold calls. If you're working in a gym, you're going to have to send the DMs. You're going to have to make the content. You're going to have to work at that to a point where it actually generates you leads. But if you don't have the work hard, then if you haven't worked hard to get to here, it's just not going to, none of this is going to help. However, once you do get the baseline and it's working for you, that's when you can implement some of these things and really start living a life that you enjoy, because it doesn't need to be busy. I've got one client who has, I think, 280 clients right now, and they took some days off last week to go visit a sick family member. They took their birthday off. They spent time with family and friends. They worked probably 30 hours for the week, which is enough to train, manage staff, all of that kind of thing. But 30 hours a week and making a huge amount of money. So I think balanced ambition is important. I don't think you have to buy into hustle culture. If at the end of the day, if working harder made more money, then the donkey would own the farm, not the farmer. The farmer orchestrates the farm. The donkey continuously works, 12 hours a day, moving things around, arguably works harder than the farmer. If that was the case, if working hard was all it took, everyone would be multi-skillionaires and the donkeys would own the farm. I hope you guys found that beneficial, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.